If you are 65 or older and waiting for your July Social Security or SSI payment, stop and read this before your check arrives. Right now, banks all over the country are quietly freezing direct deposits that have arrived without any problem for years. Some seniors open their banking app expecting that familiar deposit and see $0 where their money used to land. Nobody from the bank calls ahead to explain. Nobody from the Social Security Administration reaches out to clear things up. And by the time most people realize something has gone wrong, they have already missed rent, missed a prescription refill, or stood in a grocery line with a card that simply will not work. The exact dollar figure that lands each month may be $994. It may be a little higher or a little lower depending on your state, your work history, and your living situation. But the number itself does not really matter. What matters is that this money is the difference between stability and crisis for millions of households, and a single freeze can knock over an entire month of planning in one afternoon. That is exactly why this information matters right now, and that is why I want to walk you through what is actually happening, why it is happening, and most importantly, the simple steps you can take today so your July payment lands safely in your account and stays there. Stay with me, because the next few minutes could save you from a mistake that has already cost thousands of seniors their peace of mind. Before we go any deeper, if this channel has ever helped you understand your money, your benefits, or your rights, the single best gift you can give back is a quick tap on the like button, a subscribe so you never miss an update like this, and a comment telling me what state you are watching from so I can keep bringing you information that actually fits your situation. It takes 10 seconds, and it makes a huge difference in whether this kind of warning reaches the next person who needs it. Here's the part most people never hear about. Banks are required by federal law to monitor every account for unusual activity, and Social Security and SSI accounts have become one of the most heavily monitored groups of accounts in the entire banking system. That sounds like a good thing on the surface, and sometimes it really is, because the monitoring is designed to catch fraud, scams, and identity theft that target older adults. The trouble is that the same monitoring system that protects you can also flag your account by mistake. A single suspicious login, a slightly larger than normal purchase, a new address that does not match your bank records, or even a simple clerical error in your Social Security file can quietly place your account under review. When that review begins, the bank is allowed to hold incoming deposits instead of letting them post right away. That is not a punishment, and it is not permanent, but it feels permanent when your grocery trip is 10 minutes away and your card is being declined at the register. And the hardest part is that most of these freezes never make the news because they happen to one person at a time, in one town at a time, with no headlines and no warning. That silence is exactly why so many seniors feel blindsided, isolated, and unsure of where to turn. Now let me explain the specific reasons these freezes are happening more often right now, because understanding the trigger is the fastest way to avoid it. The first reason is a mismatch in your personal information. If the name, date of birth, or Social Security number on file with the bank does not exactly match the information the Social Security Administration has on file, the system can automatically pause your deposit until the two records line up again. The second reason is a sudden change in your deposit amount, and here is where many people get confused. Even a small cost of living adjustment, a small state supplement increase, or a small change in your benefit calculation can look like fraud to a system that is trained to flag anything unusual. The third reason is account inactivity or dormancy rules, which means if you have not used your debit card, your online banking, or your mobile app for several months, the bank may apply additional security steps before releasing your deposit. The fourth reason is suspected unauthorized access, and this one happens when someone else tries to log into your account, when your debit card is used at an unusual location, or when your information shows up in a recent data breach. And the fifth reason, which is growing quickly, is what banking insiders call a representative payee review, where the Social Security Administration decides to look more closely at how your benefits are being managed, especially if you have recently entered a care facility, if a family member has been helping with your finances, or if there has been any change in who handles your day-to-day money. Before I give you the exact steps you can take to protect yourself, let me point out something important. This video is free because people just like you choose to support it with a like, a subscribe, and a comment. If this information matters to you, please hit that like button right now and share this video with one friend or family member who depends on a monthly benefit. You could be the reason they avoid a freeze they did not even know was coming. Let me talk about the early warning signs that your July payment could be at risk, because prevention is always easier than recovery. The first warning sign is a letter you may have ignored. If you received any mail in the last few months that asked you to confirm your address, your banking details, your phone number, or your direct deposit information, and you have not responded yet, treat that letter like a 5-alarm fire. Those letters are not junk mail and they are not scams. They are usually the first official step in a review process, and your silence can quietly trigger a freeze. The second warning sign is a missed phone call from an unknown number, because Social Security does sometimes call to verify information, but they also leave a written follow-up, and many seniors simply do not pick up calls from numbers they do not recognize. The third warning sign is any recent change in your living situation, including moving in with a relative, entering an assisted living community, or switching which bank account receives your deposit. None of these changes are wrong, but each one can reset your file and create a window of vulnerability. The fourth warning sign is having a family member or helper with access to your account who has not been formally listed with the Social Security Administration as a representative payee or as an authorized third party. And the fifth warning sign is something nobody likes to talk about, which is relationship strain, because unfortunately there are situations where a trusted person uses an older adult's benefits in ways that were not agreed upon, and once that pattern is suspected, the entire deposit can be paused while the situation is investigated. Now let me walk you through the exact steps you should take before your July payment arrives, because every one of these steps takes only a few minutes and can be done from home. Step 1 is to call the Social Security Administration directly at the official number, which is 1-800-772-1273, and confirm that your direct deposit information on file is correct, current, and matches the information at your bank down to the last digit. Step 2 is to log into your My Social Security account online, or create one if you have not yet, because this online portal lets you see your benefit amount, your payment schedule, your deposit status, and any alerts or messages the agency has sent you. Many freezes happen simply because a senior never opened the online message that would have explained the issue in advance. Step 3 is to visit your bank in person, not just call, and ask the branch representative to walk through your account settings with you, your deposit history, and any flags or holds that may already be pending. Banks are far more helpful in person than over the phone, and they can often resolve a small mismatch on the spot. Step 4 is to make sure you have at least 2 working ways to receive your money, because depending only on direct deposit is becoming risky for older adults. A paper check backup option, a prepaid debit card linked to your benefits, or a trusted secondary account can keep you afloat if your main account is suddenly frozen. And step 5 is to keep a simple folder, whether physical or digital, where you store your latest benefit letter, your bank statements, your identification, and the contact information for your local Social Security office. When a freeze happens, the people who recover fastest are the ones who can lay their hands on the right paperwork in minutes instead of days. Let me show you what to do if your July payment has already been frozen, because this moment is frightening and the clock is real. The very first move is to call your bank and ask, in plain language, whether a hold has been placed on a recent incoming deposit from the federal government. Banks are required to tell you if a hold is in place, what triggered it, and what you need to do to release it. The second move is to call the Social Security Administration and ask whether your benefit has been suspended, redirected, or is pending any kind of review. The representative will look up your file and explain the exact reason in simple terms. The third move is to request a paper check if your direct deposit cannot be released in time, because Social Security can usually issue an emergency paper check that arrives within a few business days when a direct deposit is held. The fourth move is to file a written request, never just a verbal one, asking for a formal explanation of any action affecting your benefits, because federal law gives you the right to receive a written reason and a written decision. And the fifth move, which most people skip and later regret, is to ask for help. You can bring a family member you trust, a legal aid organization, an elder law attorney, or a local area agency on aging advocate onto the call with you, because a second set of experienced ears can catch details you might miss when you are stressed, tired, or simply not used to navigating bureaucracy. Let me also walk you through the appeals process, because appeals exist for exactly this situation, and they work more often than people realize. If your benefit has been reduced, suspended, or frozen, you have 60 days from the date you received the official notice to request a reconsideration. That does not mean you have lost. It means the agency wants more information before they complete their decision. You can submit new documents, you can ask for a phone interview, you can request a face-to-face hearing, and you can bring witnesses. Many freezes are lifted during reconsideration once the agency receives a clean bank statement, an updated address, a corrected identity document, or a simple written explanation. If reconsideration is denied, you can appeal again, this time to a federal administrative law judge, and at that stage, most seniors qualify for free legal representation through organizations that specialize in Social Security cases. I want you to hear that clearly, because too many people give up after the first denial and never learn how strong their case actually was. Before I close this out, I want to share a handful of insights that financial planners and elder law attorneys often share in private, because these are the quiet details that change everything. Insight 1 is that the fastest way to fly under the radar of every monitoring system at once is to keep your deposit amount, your deposit date, your bank, and your contact information as stable as possible for as long as possible, even when life changes around you. Insight 2 is that small, consistent deposits to and from your benefit account keep your account active and reduce the chance of a dormancy flag. Insight 3 is that having your benefit statement printed and reviewed once a year protects you against silent errors that can pile up and trigger a freeze years later. Insight 4 is that you should never share your My Social Security login with anyone, not even a helper, because account sharing is one of the most common triggers for a fraud investigation. And Insight 5, which is the one most people never hear until it is too late, is that you can arrange for a trusted person to be a representative payee before any crisis ever happens, which makes future transitions smoother, faster, and safer for everyone involved. Here is everything you need to take with you from this video, written in plain language so you can act on it today. Your July payment is coming, and the system that delivers it is more cautious than it has ever been. That extra caution is meant to protect you, but it can also freeze you if your information is even slightly out of date. Confirm your direct deposit details with Social Security right now. Open your My Social Security account this week. Visit your bank branch in person and ask them to walk through your file. Keep a backup plan for receiving your money so you are never one freeze away from missing rent or medicine. Keep your paperwork in one simple folder. And if anything ever feels off, respond quickly, write everything down, ask for help, and remember that the appeals process is your right and it works. You have just spent the last few minutes learning something most seniors only learn after a freeze has already cost them. That is not a small thing. That is time, peace of mind, and real money you have protected. If this video gave you value, please like it, subscribe to this channel, so I can keep bringing you information like this before the next payment, the next rule change, and the next quiet shift in the system. Leave me a comment telling me whether your July payment has arrived safely or whether you have already experienced a freeze, and share this video with one person in your life who would benefit from hearing it today. You can be the reason they are prepared instead of surprised. Stay safe, stay informed, and I will see you in the next one.